Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm filming a video on products I have hit pan on. And I had to ask you guys in one of my get ready with me videos if this would be a video that you all would like to watch. And I had several of you guys say yes. And I felt like, I don't know, I felt inspired to film this video. Like I felt excited to film this. So these are just all of the products that, like I said, that I've hit pan on in my collection. So this is gonna give you like ideas of like products that I use all the time or maybe that I used to use all the time. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump in. So this product here, this will not come as any surprise that I have hit pan on this. I've went through so many of these like over the years, but this is my L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. And as you can see, I'm gonna be needing to buy a new one of these soon. And I kind of want to get two next time so I can keep one in my purse, have one on my, like with my makeup when I'm getting ready, because it's always like recently when I've been getting ready, like I don't have this around and I don't feel like getting up to get it. But I absolutely love this setting powder. It just does a really good job of setting your makeup, but it doesn't look powdery. It just makes your makeup look flawless. You can also use this powder by itself on days when you're doing like a no makeup day and you just want to add just slightly a little bit more coverage and to like tone down shine on your face. So this has just been a favorite since the very beginning of my YouTube channel. So I absolutely love this. Another product, which this is super dirty because I've had it for quite a while, but another product that I've hit pan on is this Milani Brow Fix Brow Kit. And I absolutely love this. I love to use these for eyeshadows. I also like to use these shades to fill in my eyebrows. It's been a while since I have used this to fill in my eyebrows, but I love using this for eyeshadow mostly now anyway. But this highlight shade in the palette is my very favorite highlight. It's just so pretty. It reminds me a lot of MAC Dazzle Light. Which is another thing that I've hit pan on, but it's just a really pretty cream white, I don't even know if you can see it, like shimmery shade. And I use it all the time for like an inner corner highlight or for my brow bone highlight. And I have went through one of these before, and this is like the second one that I've bought. Okay, another product that I've hit pan on recently is this Fresh Sugar Lemon Hydrating Lip Balm. And I love to use this in the mornings whenever I'm getting ready and I do my skincare. I'll put some of this on my lips to moisturize my lips while I'm doing my makeup so that by the end when I do my lipstick, I don't have to worry about my lips being dry or flaky. I just absolutely love it. It's also nice to reapply throughout the day. It smells like a lemon bar. It tastes like a lemon bar. So I absolutely love this. I think it's so good. And I know that Fresh has different, I guess, flavors or different scents in these, but so far the lemon is my absolute favorite. My mom got the coconut and that one smelled pretty good, but I think I still prefer the lemon. And I've also tried the peach, but lemon is definitely the way to go. Okay, a highlight that I've hit pan on, which to be fair, this is a mini, so it's definitely easier to hit pan on mini products, but this is the Becca highlight in Moonstone, and this is one of my all-time favorite highlights. It's been a while since I have used this. It's like, since I have so much makeup in my collection, I have a ton of highlights. I go in my phases with things, but I know that there was a while that this was like my go-to highlight, the only highlight I would use. So I just really like this. It's a really pretty like champagne, and yeah, it's just really pretty. It's kind of a little bit on the golden side, but not too golden. It's just a really pretty like champagne gold. So like if champagne pop is like a little too dark for you, Moonstone will be perfect because it kind of gives you like the same effect, but it's just a little lighter. Okay, some eyeshadows that I have hit pan on. This is also another product that's really like dirty because I've had it forever, needs to be cleaned. But this is one of the NARS Duo eyeshadows, and this is in All About Eve. And this is just one of my favorite eyeshadow products to just throw on my lid on days when I just don't feel like worrying about my eyeshadow, but I want something to just be neutral on the lid and just make my eyelids look a little better. This is kind of like my eyelids but better shade because it has a little bit of a satin finish. You're not even gonna be able to see it swatched because it's literally my skin tone, but it just has a slight satin finish to it, so it just makes your lids look better, especially if they look a little dry. I don't know, I just really like it. It's just such a natural, pretty eyeshadow. I don't think NARS makes this anymore. I think it was discontinued, but it's still one of my favorite eyeshadows. It's also very similar to Grain, which is a MAC eyeshadow. And speaking of MAC eyeshadows, I have several that I have hit pan on. And back when I first started my YouTube channel, like MAC eyeshadows were like my go-to everyday eyeshadows. Sorry if I'm saying eyeshadows a lot. This color here is Gesso, and part of that, like I did hit pan, but some of it did kind of crumble off. I don't know, it's one of those shades that kind of like a matte black for some reason, like those shadows are a little bit more crumbly, but I hit pan on that. This color here is Grain, which is similar to the NARS All About Eve palette, and MAC still makes Grain. So if you want to dupe, if that sounds like a color that you would like, and you can't get All About Eve, Grain is, like I said, a dupe. And then this is, I think, Quartz, maybe? Wedge. This is MAC Wedge. I used to use this color a lot for my brows, and it's also a really pretty, like, just neutral crease shade, kind of like the color in my Brow Fix Brow Kit. Like, those colors are very similar. And then this is, I don't remember, Brulee, which is very similar to like Wet n Wild's Brulee shadow. So those are the ones that I've hit pan on. And then I have another MAC eyeshadow that I've hit pan on in this palette. This has more of like my shimmer shades, and this has my matte shades. So this is MAC Dazzle Light, which is similar to the color in the Brow Fix Brow Kit. So yeah, it's just a shimmery like white cream color. A few other eyeshadows that I've hit pan on. This here was a limited edition eyeshadow quad from Maybelline, and this is in Cozy Cashmere, and I've hit pan on the golden here, and then on this shade over here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I love this gold. It's got to be my all-time favorite gold eyeshadow. It's just so pretty. It's like a platinum gold, like more of like a, I don't know, silver gold. It's really beautiful, and this is one of my very favorite palettes, especially this time of the year, in the fall, winter months. I don't know, it's just so pretty. So I wish that Maybelline still made these and made this palette, but one of my favorites. And of course, the Urban Decay Naked palette. This is another one of those things that when I first started my YouTube channel, I just used it all of the time. And I hit pan on Virgin and on Naked. And I did a video back in the day on how to refill like eyeshadow pans, and Urban Decay sells these shadows as singles. So I bought the singles and then like used, I think, tweezers or something to kind of like break up the eyeshadow, like scrape it off of the little like single pan, and then you put it in here and mix it with alcohol, and then you can like press it back into the pan. So I've hit pan on those twice because I've refilled them before. But these are just like those shades that are good everyday shades, you know, like this is a really pretty, just neutral, kind of a little bit more on the cool tone side crease color. And then this is kind of along the same lines as the highlights in my Milani Brow Fix Brow Kit, or like the shadows, my All About Eve eyeshadows. It's kind of in between, so it's just a really pretty just satin highlight. I don't know, I just love shades like that, even though they are just so kind of basic and plain, but they're just pretty for everyday eyeshadow looks. So love the Naked palette, and I bought a new one whenever they were discontinuing this, so I have a whole nother palette on backup. The Wet n Wild Rosé Champagne, or no, not Rosé Champagne, Rosé in the Air. This little palette here, I've hit pan on just the cream shadow. I just really like, sorry, my voice is cutting out. I just really like this shade for like a brow bone highlight or an all over, like to set your eyeshadow. Like if you don't want to wear eyeshadow and just give your eyelids a natural wash of color, I would use this shade for that. So that's why I've hit pan on that one. And honestly, I've almost hit pan on the dark brown shade there. So this is just one of my go-to eyeshadow palettes on a daily basis. So that is why I've hit pan on that one. And then this little trio from CoverGirl, this is Shimmering Sands. And this color right here in the middle that I've hit pan on, this is just a pretty color to wear every day. It's just a cool tone kind of taupe. And I'll see if I can swatch it. I'll use this little little sponge, but it's kind of like Wet n Wild's eyeshadow in Nutty. It's the same sort of taupey brown as that shade. That's what it looks like there. I don't know if you can really see it. It's just like a taupey gray brown. So that's kind of one of those shades that I'll just put all over the lid and just use that as a color by itself. I haven't used this palette in a while, but this, before I started YouTube, you know, like in middle school, this was my go-to eyeshadow palette in middle school and high school. This was like my favorite little eyeshadow palette that I used every single day, and I loved the highlight shade in this palette. And this is a good dupe for MAC's Floof, the highlight shade. I feel like my swatches in this video are terrible, so I apologize. But yeah, love this little palette, and CoverGirl still makes this. Okay, the last eyeshadow palette that I've hit pan on is the Old School Wet n Wild Comfort Zone. I don't know if you guys remember this palette, but this was another like go-to favorite back when I first started my YouTube channel, and I loved that shade for just a lid color. And this color here, it kind of broke, so it looks like I hit pan on that one, but the only one that I've hit pan on is just this one here. That one just kind of shattered and went everywhere, so I miss the days of these Wet n Wild palettes. But I mean, I still love the new ones, but I really liked their Old School palettes. So those are all the eyeshadows that I've hit pan on in my collection. I'm sure there probably were other eyeshadows that maybe I hit pan on but ended up using all the way up and, you know, have gotten rid of since then. But those are all the ones currently in my collection. Oh gosh, I'm just dropping everything. Some bronzers that I've hit pan on. The L'Oreal True Match Bronze It. This is one of my very favorite bronzing products. I really like this because it has a little bit of a satin finish to it. So it looks really beautiful on the skin, especially in the winter, like fall winter months when your skin's like a little dull. And it's just a good neutral bronzer. Like it's not too cool toned, not too warm toned. So it's another reason why I like to use it in the winter, because when my skin gets really fair, sometimes if I use a really warm toned bronzer, it can tend to look orange, where this one never looks orange on the skin. So, and the packaging has fallen apart. Another product that I recently have hit pan on is this NYX blush in the color Taupe. And I have just been loving this so much for a bronzer contour product. I used to only use this for contouring, but now I like to use it for bronzing as well. It's what I use today to like bronze and contour, and it's just the perfect cool toned bronzer. So if you need a very cool toned bronzer, this is the bronzer for you, or blush or whatever. Sometimes I'll use it as like a bronzer blush. So love that. And it is matte. Okay, the NARS Laguna bronzer. Like years and years ago, this was my go-to bronzer. I used it every single day. I don't quite like it as much now as I used to, but I know I've like went through the NARS Laguna a few times, and as you can see, like I've hit just a little bit of pan on that one. This is the trio. And I've actually repurchased this trio before too, because I've hit pan on NARS Orgasm. Like back when I first started YouTube, this was like the only blush color I would wear. I do really like NARS Orgasm, but it's been a while since I have worn that blush. Like it's just a peachy kind of gold blush. I feel like I don't like it quite as much as I used to now that my skin's getting a little bit more mature, and I don't know, sometimes really like sparkly, shimmery things don't look that great. So hit pan on that. And then let's see, the other bronzing product that I've hit pan on, which the original palette is this contour palette from e.l.f. I've replaced the shades in here because I hit major pan on some of them. So I think it's in this palette, yeah. So the bronzer in that palette, like I hit pan on, and also the highlight. Like there was just a period of time where that was like the only thing I would use day to day. And I really like this highlight because it's a very subtle highlight. It's a good like everyday highlight. I don't use it as much as I used to now. I've kind of moved on to other highlights, and then I also hit pan on the contour in that palette. So like I said, I bought a new one just so it would be easier to use the shades, but definitely hit pan on all those shades before. And then I think we just have one last product that I've hit pan on, and that is this Wet n Wild blush in Rosé Champagne. Like you guys know that this is my all-time favorite blush. It's just so pretty. It's one of those blush colors that you can wear with any makeup look. It just looks so natural, and it has a little bit of a satin finish to it. So this is the only blush in my collection that I've hit pan on, like that's currently in my collection. But I've also hit pan on, well, like I told you guys, NARS Orgasm and the Tarte blush in Exposed. I've hit pan on that before too. So I hope that you guys did enjoy this video. I don't know if I will in the future do panning videos. I don't know. I just kind of like to just use whatever I want to use in my collection and not feel like I have to stick to a certain product to hit pan on it, you know. I think maybe in the future, if there are new products that I've hit pan on that I haven't talked about before and I have enough to do a video on, I will film another one of these videos, because I think it's cool to see, you know, what people use. You know, it's cool for you guys to see like what products I use the most and why. So if you did enjoy this, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what videos you would like to see from me. And if you are new, please don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you click the bell to turn on your notifications so you will know as soon as I post a new video, especially now since I don't have a set video like schedule. So I hope that you guys have a great day and a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas season. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.